I'm just gonna say that Sutton says that y'all got her fucked up in this episode.
With the finger in the face, she
With
said,
the
I'm
finger,
getting angry. You
oh,
do not.
not want to see me get
I believed it.
upset. What's up, everybody? It's me again and Jamie, and it's time to lean in, bitch. We are back for The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, episode 7. I think it was called like something women or something like that, Delivering Women. I don't know what the title, but what's going on, Jamie? Welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
You know, today is a great day for the lean, honey, because as we all know, if I have posted,
You got a
child,
shout out.
there was a shout out, and if you didn't know, the lean was ranked on Screen Rant at number 2 for recapping Real Housewives, the Real Housewives franchise. So, you know, it was a great start to my day. I was at work, sitting over here in my little countertop, and it was a great start to my day. So I'm in a great mood. I'm very excited to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, even though the episode was kind of okay. I did enjoy. There were some funny moments, but myself and Jamie are going to talk about it. But before we get started, of course, make sure you go down. You see the thumbs, hit the thumbs up button, like this video to continue to watch and subscribe and do all of the things to support because we're going to be here all season talking about our favorite ladies of the Beverly Hills franchise. So, episode 7. What did you think, Jamie?
It would, like you said, it didn't do a whole lot to push like the narrative forward. It was
Yeah,
a cute filler episode. I think
yeah,
everybody had some really funny moments. Erica, it seems, has been on every
yeah.
single episode, making these little wisecracks, making these little, jokes, and trying to rebrand herself as this self-referential ice queen. And I don't know if that's part of like her plan to come off as maybe more human, more sympathetic. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing this side of Erica. However much of it is authentic, we'll see whenever they're done subpoenaing her financial records
Listen, okay, because as I put in our group
as we
chat, they are
speak.
definitely. I don't even have receipts right now. I feel really bad, but yes, they will be seizing her documents and her all of her financial records to see what the hell she had going on. So I hope, and I just feel like watching this back, like I know she is just looking back at herself like, damn, I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said this because as the episodes air, more and more is happening in her story. Of course, in this episode, they Sutton versus Crystal. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of tired because it's the same conversation. I really am. Like I tweeted about it, and honestly, looking on Twitter, I almost said Black Twitter. Looking on Twitter, the people are tired of it as well. Like I mean, it's cool, and I get it, but I'm glad. It's good to see that more is probably going to start unraveling this episode, especially with Lisa and her daughter. That seems to be a thing. I didn't even know. I'm glad that Lisa actually has a storyline this season that is really within her life, which really ain't her life. It's her daughter's, but her daughter is her life, so it works out. But let's get into the episode, of course. In this particular episode, Sutton and Erica are hanging out. And I was like, this is an interesting little duo. I never thought, especially seeing what happens to them later. So I
Later,
want to ask you, like, what do you think is going to happen? Because they seem to be cool. They're bonding over their past marriages and stuff like that. What do you think?
I think, obviously this is Sutton's first season as a full-time
That's true. That is
diamond
true.
holder. She really didn't interact with Erica a whole lot last season. She
Yeah.
mainly interacted with Garcelle
Mm-hmm.
and Kyle, and it was only really big group meetings. So it's good that they're kind of putting her one-on-one with other housewives. I mean, Erica has always said that she really enjoys Sutton. She likes Sutton's like kind of in your face, doesn't really have a filter. So it was good to kind of see them hanging out. I thought it was really nice of Sutton to treat Erica to kind of this like post split, like pamper
Yeah.
yourself type situation. I think it's particularly since Sutton hasn't been coming off that hinged.
Yeah.
It's good to see her kind of take the role of like, you know what, I'm going to do something nice for my friend, and I'm going to make sure she's taken care of. So that's a good balancing act, considering she's been kind of crazy the last couple episodes.
I'm just surprised that Erica. I mean, I guess in this moment she is just like she needs to play the role to where she needs to be around friends. I didn't think Sutton would be the type of girl that she would ever hang with. Just on, I mean, I know Sutton, they have to film, but I mean, it seemed like they genuinely had a good time. They went to cryotherapy, I believe, which is something I actually want to do myself. I don't like being cold.
Don't do
I
it.
like
I've
to
done
be
it
cold.
once.
How you feel about it?
I don't like the cold. I'm from Texas. I'm a Texas boy, Southern Texas, born and raised. Like I almost died whenever we had the ice storm back in February. Like you're not purposely going to put me in any environment that it's negative 100 degrees. Just not going to do it. For what?
I mean, she's from
Why?
Georgia. She's from Georgia. They both from the South. They both were like, oh, it's great. No.
Not me.
But I mean, in this scene, she's kind of going more into this role of, oh, he wasn't there. He wasn't there for this. He wasn't there for this. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. I understand when things get bad, they get bad. But Erica, girl, you were pretty happy. You seem to be pretty happy from now, and you never said it before. I just wish she would have said something before, but she didn't. So here we are hearing about it now that things are really bad. Um,
And
I just,
she always in the past seasons, she's made it sound like she didn't really care that
yeah,
Tom wasn't around.
she
She was
sounded
like,
like
"Oh,
she
he
was
works a
happy.
lot.
Like he
That's a
gives me this
workhorse.
money.
He's good."
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
And
it's
so
just
now
like,
for her to be like, "Oh, I was so hurt," I was like, "I thought that was the arrangement y'all had. I could be wrong."
yeah, it definitely was giving a ranger, but now one of y'all in trouble. But yeah, whatever. Whatever. So that happens, and then Crystal, they kind of talk about, they go into Crystal a little bit more of her and her daughter. And the only thing I pull from this scene is that your daughter is bad as hell.
Look,
I'm just saying, she was like, she would
she said
rather,
she reminds me of me. Well,
yeah,
she should remind you of you. That's a red flag right there. Now I can see why you fight with Sutton every
yeah,
damn
she
week.
was like, she basically like, I don't want to discipline her. I want to guide her. I don't know, and maybe that's because I am an African American man. My mom used to whoop me, and maybe that's something that she don't believe in. But I just feel like, girl, that little girl needs a whooping, okay? And I'm
One
sure
good
the
one.
trainer probably was like, this little badass little girl, but he had to keep it cool because that's his
Yeah.
client and yada yada yada. So I just felt a way about that. But do you have anything you want
But
to add about that
I
scene?
do like I like that it showed her with her kids and she seemed to be pretty hands on.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
son, like
yeah,
her kids genuinely seem to really, really enjoy being around her.
yeah.
Like the energy seems good. So she seems like a very hands on. Like I haven't seen a single nanny yet. I've seen like the chef and like the housekeeper, but I haven't seen anybody that takes care of the kids,
Yeah.
other than the lady who cooks for them. So that's I like that. That's good for her. And I like that she's self-admittedly like all this glam and stuff. It's not me. Like I'm a
Well, she
tomboy.
said
I
that a
have to
lot of
do this for my
times. She
son.
has said that many
Yeah.
times that she's not really that type of girl. She doesn't really wear a lot of color, but I think she has some issues that she's been battling from years, and it's just
Yeah.
even as an adult, she kind of touches on, of course, the body issues and bulimia and stuff like that. So it's good to see her in this light like that. She is a vulnerable woman because when you see her with Sutton, it just gives like, I said what I said, and I'm laughing at you because I don't take you seriously. Not saying she doesn't give ice cold hard bitch like Erica used to give. She just she really is not. I guess to other women, and I think that's a common thing that most women are. I have friends, female friends that are like that with other girls, but they're not like that with other people. You know what I'm saying? With other men and stuff like that. So maybe she's just that type of girl. I feel like, but I don't know. We still need to know her. We're gonna talk about her more again. Let's move into Garcelle. Garcelle apparently is dating. She got that little app Bumble or whatever the hell it's called. And I just love that they were in a house and they talking about them damn fish. How she didn't name the fish Kyle because that fish was. And I know you probably loved
I
it.
lived.
That
I lived. That the dead fish was Kyle. Loved it.
that dead fish
I,
was Kyle.
I screamed. I screamed whenever her son said, "Oh, I don't care about that fish. That's the bad one." I said,
That was
"Ah!"
you. You made that boy say that. You
And you
said,
could
hey,
tell the look on Garcelle's face. Garcelle was like,
right,
"Ah." "Don't say that on camera. You're
right.
gonna start something."
It was cute. It was
Because
cute.
I know
Go ahead.
Kyle was in her house crying. Kyle was in her house crying, thinking of a
I wonder
tweet
what
on
she
how she's a
said.
victim of
You know what?
something.
But I
Girl,
feel
fuck
like
her.
at the reunion, what if she gets at the
She gonna bring
reunion
it
and it's
up.
just like, that was so hurtful for you to say I was a dead fish. Like, really, Garcelle? A dead fish? I can
Yes,
see
you
Kyle
have the
saying that.
personality of a dead fish.
Well, but she's dating and wants to be married again. Her two sons and I know they talk about her other son later, which was the one that had a drug addiction. I'm gonna say he is
Yeah,
fine. Okay, he
he's
can addict
cute,
to my drug if he wanna. Of
sir,
course, I do have a man, but
sir.
I'm just saying if I did.
I really like, and I said this, when we, I mean, off camera with you and we've discussed. I really like Garcelle's relationship with her sons. You
Yeah.
can tell that she has always put them first, which is why she's remained single for so long.
Hmm.
And you can
Hmm.
tell that they give her a hard time, but they genuinely are
Hmm.
super loving and super super protective of
Hmm.
her. So I really, I think with these women, I genuinely enjoy seeing them outside of that group dynamic of just being like catty and petty,
Right.
and remembering like, oh, they actually have husbands and kids, and how they interact with them is nice. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's
I'm a softie.
Garcelle is definitely getting a lot of personal time. We're getting more into her life, and she's with the girls more. I feel like last season she missed a lot of scenes with the group, and she was filming a lot of individually. I don't know why at that time, but she's definitely stepped into her own in this season. I feel like she's definitely moving as a housewife, less of a housewife friend, which is what I feel like she
Hmm.
was last season. So I was glad to see it. I can't. I have. She hasn't hosted an event yet, has she? I'm not sure. I don't think she has.
No.
I need her to do one of those because I mean she should. Why not? And then while we talking about kids and with her sons, Kyle and her daughters. How did you feel about that scene with her daughter like couldn't breathe because her other daughter Sophie was there? You didn't like that scene?
I genuinely I like Kyle's daughters. Like I like Kyle's daughters a lot more,
Yeah,
and I like Mauricio a lot
I
more than
love
Kyle.
Mauricio.
He's just so like, God bless that man for being the only male figure in a house full of women. But I used to, like, Portia has been with us since she was like what, a toddler,
Yeah.
like since she was like one. The girl's now 13, 14 years old, beautiful young lady. She seems really sweet, but oh my God, she is Kyle through and through. Like she
Oh
is
yeah.
so damn dramatic.
Oh,
I'm
she's
just
definitely
sitting,
Kyle.
and then Kyle started crying. I'm like, girl, if you don't FaceTime this sister, like you just saw her 3 months ago. Like, my God, get up.
Yeah, I
Mm,
thought it was cute.
mm.
When I saw the scene last week, the preview, I was like, I figured it'd be somebody that she was excited to see, but it was just while we were talking
Kyle Rich
about
is gonna block
kids.
me.
Oh, Kyle, if you're
Kyle Rich
watching,
is gonna block me.
Jamie does not dislike it. He just has some
I
issues
do.
with the way things you've done. But here
For 10 years.
We at the lean love you. Okay, so you can
Okay.
always,
If you want to come on,
if you want to
state your
come on all
case.
times, we can
I'll be
kick
I'll
Jamie
be sick
off
that
for
night.
that. Right.
I'll be sick that night, but I'll pop up as a special caller with a question.
Right, right. Oh Lord, Jesus. Now I want to end these questions. So Erica and Lisa are also hanging out, and basically it is now revealed that Amelia, which is her daughter, is now dating Scott. Is it Disick? Disick?
Hmm.
I want to say Disnick, but Disick.
D-
But and so she's basically she first of all she's talking to the wrong person about dating an older man. I mean, I'm just saying
yeah.
I would not. I get it. You can talk to her about it, but I would not ask her any questions. Just like Erica said, girl. I mean, look at me. Like he was. She can't even remember
Well,
how
but
many
also
years.
Erica was
Go ahead.
she's not good at math.
She's not good at math. Clearly, that's why the
But
screen
Erica
was
was
showing up.
also what, 29?
Yeah,
She was 29 when she met. I mean, Amelia's 19. It's a little bit
that is
different.
true. That's
A
true.
little
But
bit
she's still
different.
grown. I mean, I do agree. I think it would be a little awkward. I think they all stated later that they would be like, no.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, like I did like what Kathy said when Kathy was like, I mean, but I have daughters in the public eye. It could be a lot worse. And I'm like, you're right. Look,
And then
Kathy
she left
know.
it at that.
She
She
left it
left
at
it at
that.
that.
I
She goes,
love it.
we're
I
not
love
saying
it.
anything else.
But it seems like that's going to be like a upcoming storyline. And with that, and so I don't know how Lisa's going to handle it. How do you think she going to handle it? Because she doesn't. She
She's
hasn't
gonna
done
love
anything
every
yet.
second of it. She's gonna
You think she
love
gonna
every
love it?
second of it. She's gonna pretend like she doesn't, and she's gonna love that storyline and love that screen time. You know, Lisa Rinna is
But
the
I'm
queen of
saying, do you
spin.
think she's going to
Anything.
love that? How do you think she's going to react to her daughter dating this man?
You know what? As much as she puts up a fight, Lisa and her daughters are like best friends. I think
That's
it
true.
probably weirds her out that Scott's closer in age to her than to her daughter. But
Yeah.
I'm interested in next week because she said Harry seems fine
Yeah.
with it, but in the preview for next
It
week,
seemed like he is
Harry
not
doesn't
here
seem to be
for it.
fine with it. So,
Right.
and I would like to see more of Harry commenting on
Yeah.
that because we see him in. I think Lisa will milk it for camera time, and
Yeah.
I mean, Lisa will never. That she's probably over it by now.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's gonna. I guess that's her storyline for the season. She ain't got nobody to really come down on. Garcelle got her, by the throat, and
By the chokehold.
so that means she. I guess she got to figure out something to stay on. But the biggest event was Kyle's cocktail party. It was in South Beach. I actually want to go to that place. I've never been. I'm gonna try to see
Yeah,
if I can take my friends there. We can go there and be fabulous.
it's cute.
Kathy and Crystal riding in the car together. Kathy doing her nails. When I tell you that's me, I keep my little buffers. I should have had them. My buffers in my little bag or something. When I go out, like anywhere I go, I have my buffers in my little bag, and I be scoop, 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 scoop. She's just like, I want those long nails. Kathy said she wants some Cardi B nails.
She
That's what she
said,
said.
"I'm thinking of those long nails."
Right, right.
Kathy is like Kathy reminds me of like what is it like a squirrel? You only
Yeah,
have her attention for like a finite amount of time, and then it's just on to like the
yeah,
next thing that is shiny and catches her attention. Like she's a hoot. She looked good. Both of them looked gorgeous at this.
yeah,
So it was nice to see. I mean, Kathy always looks good. She could be in a smock, but like I think I really like Kathy's style. You could definitely tell she's an older like rich woman, but she doesn't dress frumpy. Like she makes
yeah.
really good like classy,
Yeah, I like her.
rich.
Like, I
Uh,
think
and Crystal was
everyone
trying.
can
Crystal put a
honestly
little effort
agree.
in.
Oh yeah, she did try. She did try. She looked,
She did put a little effort. It was cute. It was very
she
Sharon
did.
Stone, Basic Instinct. Like it was a little, it was up and it was tight.
It
Good for
was a little
her.
up, a little tight, but
A little up and tight.
I wasn't mad. But like to speak to on Kathy, I like Kathy. Everybody loves Kathy. I think she's like the joy to this season. I'm always excited to see what she gonna say, what she gonna do. Just because it's not even a lot, but I feel like for even the type of person she is, when she does speak, she know what the hell be going on. She's not clueless. She's not a dumb lady. She is just smart when it's time to speak. I feel like she knows
Yeah.
when to actually interject. Otherwise, she's just doing her nails or she, playing games on people about drinking and stuff like that. So I love her. But they were
And
on.
nothing is forced with her.
No, it's not. It's not.
Nothing's forced. It seems very like even when she's funny, it's not like she's trying to like go
Yeah,
viral or make a moment or make a meme or something like that. Like she just says what comes out of her mouth and it makes sense in her mind. And then when it
I
comes
agree.
out, it's like, okay, sure.
Everybody else looked pretty good. Of course, you had Dorit and her labels, child. I like that Garcelle basically like this is a label whore, and which it is. She's basically like a white Marlo, but that I enjoy much better
Yeah,
than Marlo because they both love their labels. They both, but I do think Dorit just does it a little better. In terms of, but it, again, you have two different types of women. You have more of an urban style that I feel like
yeah.
she goes for, and she kind of classes it up a little bit. And so does Marlo sometimes. Most time it's more urban, loving hip hop ish to
Yeah.
me.
Well, I mean, and you've also got two women that Marlo is like the va 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 boom, like
Yeah,
buxom bombshell
yeah,
type thing. So we all know designers of those kind of clothes aren't
yeah.
necessarily designing for women that have curves like Marlo.
Hmm.
I mean, Dorita's rail thin, and so she throws on a
Of
coat, and
course,
it's like, oh my god, right off the runway. I,
that's
I
true.
think Marlo does make some interesting choices. Uh,
Yeah.
but she knows her fashion. Like she knows
No,
her
she does.
clothes.
Hmm.
Dorit, I don't think Dorit would have that fashion sense without a team. Marlo doesn't have a team. That's all Marlo. Dorit has an
Uh,
entire Dorit has an entire
that's
group of
true. That's
people
true.
pulling
That's
out her
true.
clothes.
She does have
She
a
looks
team,
good.
but she don't have a whole
Yeah.
village as Dorit
Yeah.
has
But
to
can
get her
we talk
together like
about
that.
how with every episode that passes by, I have to check the color contrast on my TV because Dorit is getting oranger and oranger, and like with every close up they have, I don't know who is beating her face, but they need to stop because it's distracting. It is so distracting. Like
Ah,
I know whoever she borrowing them clothes from is mad because there's dust all over them when they get them back. There's
not
orange and brown
not
dust all over them. She's looking like
not she
Candy
looking
Muse
like
at this
not she
point.
looking like, oh, not Coco Montrese, honey.
It's a mess. God bless her, but I know that's a gay that's doing her makeup because shit.
Yeah. So then at the table, cocktail party, I think was fine. I think what happened was Kathy was, saying like calling she called her a peeping Tom.
She
And
called her Tom Rika or something.
she
Tomita
called
something.
peeping Tom
And
something
it was
like
supposed to be
that.
like short for peeping Tom.
Yeah, short peeping Tom. And peeping Tom, I actually said, what is makes you, let me look this up. Basically, it's someone that is like looking in on something, or and so basically, I think Sutton took it, especially it being a sensitive subject from the whole what's her name, Crystal thing, and then the situation kind of escalated a little bit, so they went back into the whole situation about using the word violation. And
Well,
go ahead,
Kyle started that.
go ahead.
Kyle started that.
What she do?
If you if you um if you look back, like Sutton was just kind of like joking with Kathy. Kyle was the one that said, "Well, we all know why you said peeping Tom because Crystal, remember at the lake you said blah blah blah, and you made it sound like it like
I
Kyle
must have missed that.
instigated that entire conversation."
Okay.
And which is why Sutton, like you could tell Sutton's face immediately changed, and Crystal was like, "Girl, really? Like we were fine.
Sudden was
Like
just like,
nobody's bringing this up."
Sudden was like, Catty, cat, I like you, but no, like stop it. And I don't think she made anything like any ill intent from it, but I mean the
Yeah,
issue kind of came back and they discussed it again, but this
ad
time
nauseum.
everybody was like Team Sudden. I mean, everybody, because they were. It wasn't that it happened. I think they were more so focused on the word violated. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I agree because words are very strong. Like just like if you're watching Encore, how she kind of used the word homophobic. You know what I'm saying? And then if you watch Encore, no,
No,
okay. And then like
I'm waiting to
even
binge watch it all.
yeah, watch that. And then like even when people use the word racist, like you have to be careful with those words because like she said, the cancel culture is real. So I don't think violated is as bad as the other two, honestly, that is mentioned. But how did you feel about that? Because everybody was just like, this is not you really shouldn't have used that word. They started putting the definitions of violation on the screen. It was like six different definitions. And they all were pretty accurate, but the one thing
Yeah,
I remember most was violation of when you violate someone. That mean they were saying that means it's intentional, that you're
yeah,
trying, you know what I'm saying? And I think that was like the key to nipping
yeah.
it in the bud, which they didn't. So what were your thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of frustrated because this conversation should have happened at the last party. Like none of
Yeah,
these women,
yeah,
and I
I
think
agree.
the most damning thing was when, and if you noticed last week as well, Crystal kept trying to shut the conversation down. Like, okay, well we're done, we're
Yeah,
on good terms, but she didn't want to explore that she was the one putting it in the other ladies' heads that it was this huge dramatic ordeal. So I'm
yeah,
glad that finally Kyle said, "Well, no, when you told it to me, it came off like this."
Dorit
Dorit
too.
said, "When you told it to me." Erika, everybody said, "When you told it to us, the impression you gave us was that Sutton was being creepy." And there goes production with the camera literally showing Crystal use the words, she was being gross. It was really, really creepy. And
Yeah,
then Crystal's sitting there like, "Oh, well, no, that I never insinuated that, and I felt violated, but I know you didn't mean any harm." And so I'm glad they called her out on it.
yeah.
I felt a little bad because you have Sutton screaming in her face, and then all the other women jumping in. And I know as a new girl, like she avoids conflict, so you could tell she kind of just like shut down. She wasn't arguing; she was just kind of like, I'm over it. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, girl, you started the whole mess, like
Well,
the whole
the thing
thing.
is, she didn't want to. I mean, it's a lot. Like she twisted the story a little bit. She used the words, and then like that's the one thing. But I feel like they all were just kind of like, girl, just say, just say
Sorry,
like,
my
sorry, I didn't
bad.
mean it like that. But she didn't want to. She said, I'm not taking back what I said. I said what I
Hmm.
said, and it's just like, okay, I get what Sutton is saying. And Sutton, first of all, Sutton shut it down. Sutton was like, wait a minute, like you don't want to see me get angry. This little kooky finger. The whole table was quiet. The whole table was quiet. And I'm just,
Yep.
I even said, oh shit, like
And
it's
then
about to throw a
in the
glass.
middle of her, in the middle of her screaming and yelling, she made. I wasn't there yelling at you like, what did she say, Mister Popper or
Mr.
something? And
Poppins,
everybody was like,
Mr.
who the
Poppins.
fuck is Mister Papa, Mister Poppins?
Lord have mercy. I was just like,
God bless him.
y'all. Crystal has gotten sudden fucked up. Clearly, in the next episode, which I've been waiting for, baby. Crystal had.
You've been waiting for
I
this
ain't
for
gonna say she
seven
been her.
episodes.
7 episodes, baby. 7 episodes. I can't wait. But I just want, Crystal. I hope she's watching it back and being like, you know what, I shouldn't have used that word. I understand. Like I understand both sides because, I mean, I don't think violated was the right word either. But for someone, if she feels like she was violated, regardless of what what I'm saying, they think they were not there. They don't know how she felt. They know now about her condition, her issue with bulimia. So I feel like it should also be at least respected to an extent. But she should be able to apologize and be like, that I didn't. It wasn't my intention to be like that, but this is how I felt in this moment. And some kind of way, I don't know. It's a better way to do it rather than just saying I'm not going to apologize. But
Yeah.
at this point, I'm just tired of hearing about it because I mean,
I never want to hear
like
about
they,
that again. Let's
like
not
it's
bring up
like
this conversation.
it's gonna come up again clearly because that's how we get to the ugly leather pants. And I'm just like Jesus Christ. I mean,
Again.
I do
It's
like. Go ahead, go ahead.
I like that Sutton. Well, I mean, Sutton did compare. She was like, "Well, Kathy walked in on me, and it wasn't
Yeah,
that big of a deal. It's like whatever. I know she didn't mean anything by it." But Crystal was on Watch What Happens Live. I want to say last week, and
yeah,
she did like says Sutton and I have talked off camera, which I appreciate that. They squashed it off camera. It wasn't for whatever, but she said that was a lot of like stuff for my eating disorder, and I internalized a lot of that, and I absolutely 1,000% overreacted on that.
mm-hmm.
And so I think that that's good, but also to Sutton's, to Crystal's defense, like Sutton could have very easily said, I didn't mean to barge in on you naked. You and I don't know each other. We're
Yeah.
we're essentially
She was a little
strangers. If you
insensitive
felt
about it too.
uncomfortable,
Yeah,
yeah. If you felt uncomfortable, that's my apology. I would be embarrassed too if somebody I didn't know busted
yeah,
in on me. My apologies. But both of the women were expecting that from the other one, and the other one wasn't giving it to them.
yeah.
And so now here we are, 38 episodes later. Crystal still throwing herself to the ground, clutching her bare chest. I did find it shady that Sutton made a joke that she saw her tits when she was in the car with Kyle,
Mm,
or with who? With Lisa, Erica,
I
whoever she hung out with this week.
okay, yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, I mean, she's
Oh, she
obviously
says she has a
in a
sense of
better place.
humor.
She's obviously in a better place about it. I think. I mean, she don't. I think she doesn't want to talk about it. But you're right. She could definitely be like, you know what, I shouldn't have barged because Sutton was wrong for just walking in technical terms, but she didn't have
Yeah.
any malintent to do anything to her. I think what makes it more frustrating for her is that when you say creepy and someone's naked, you kind of put out an allegation like it's sexual and it can get really legal. I feel like you have to be careful. I think that's the issue with it. Not just she violated me, but she walked in on me. I was naked. I fell to the ground. It can be taken a lot, and I think that's the issue with that. That's where I think Crystal should apologize and be like, you know what, I should take that back because I don't want this to go anywhere else. So I don't know.
Well, and if you remember, I want to say Sutton was pretty open last season that her and her husband were in a pretty contentious, like, custody kind of battle. And that's the reason why she didn't get a diamond last season, is because
Yeah,
her ex-husband refused to have his kids on camera for that. So when you're in the middle of a custody
yeah.
battle and someone is calling you like
I mean, yeah, it could
a
be anything.
violator and you're creepy, like, yeah, it's a stretch, but your spouse could or ex-spouse could take anything that you do
Yeah,
and use that against you as grounds to take kids and stuff. So I get it. I understand. You and I have been talking about this for 5 episodes of the lean now. We're tired of talking about it. We're tired of
yeah,
hearing about it.
yeah.
Like
I
if
know.
they
I'm
continue
just.
to bring this up, we're just
We'll
gonna
probably
nod at
talk
each other
about
and
it a
be
little
like,
bit next week, just because that's
I
probably
won't.
how we get to ugly paint. Well, I guess I'll be talking
I
to the
won't.
screen. But the funny part to me was Kathy trying to be the peacemaker, but also throwing shade at Dorit by saying English woman. Dorit's like, I'm not English. I'm just like, oh shit, Kathy, look at you. You trying to keep the peace and chat. You over here offending people.
And
I
she
live
really
for it.
doesn't know.
Kyle was
It's
living.
completely
Kyle
just
did that
oblivious.
too. Kyle did that too. Kyle asked, she still got it out for Dorit. She cannot take Dorit, and
Oh
it's
no.
clear. Kathy obviously has gotten a little wind of how Kyle maybe feel about Erika. I feel like it was not intentional, but it slid out so smoothly to say English woman, because she don't really know
Hmm.
much about. She don't really hang out with Dorit like that. She don't really know Dorit that well. So I don't know.
And
Um,
Kyle has talked about Dorit's fake accent multiple times.
right, of course they all
She's
have.
poked
They
fun
all
at that
have.
on the show multiple
Right.
times.
So
So
Kathy, she know a little bit of what she doing. I'm sorry, she do.
she knows what she's doing. She been around the block.
Yeah.
Kathy ain't stupid.
Well, next week
But
is the.
overall, it's
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yes. I
Next
said
week
no.
I'm
I said
ready.
overall, this feels like the episode before the season finale because we've been waiting for this fight with the
Yeah.
ugly leather pants for since a month before the show even started when we saw it in the teaser. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
I'm ready, and the fact that when she said it, like somebody was just like, "Oh no, 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 don't say that." Like, I'm ready.
So distraught, so
I'm
distraught.
ready. I can't. When I saw it today, I fell out as if I had not seen it a million times. And the fact that Chris was just standing there with her hands in her pocket, it's like, I can't wait. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. So before we lean out, of course, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Delina's doing big things, of course. We're recapping Encore, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Potomac is starting up soon. Finishing up Married to Medicine, Drag Race. So a lot of stuff going on, chat. I be busy outside of my real job. So, yeah, again, like this video, subscribe. You can find myself and Jamie on Instagram at Stupid Wild Tez, or it's Jamie, not Jamie, 83. Her birth, she's really
It's
older than
Jaime.
that.
It's Jaime, not
She's really
Jamie.
older than that.
83. You go. Not older than that.
She's really older than
You've
that.
been harassing me nonstop. You've been harassing me nonstop, and the public. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come
Yeah.
out.
It's gonna
I'm gonna
come out
release the tapes.
at the same time as Erika Jayne's case. That's how long, which is
They're
never
gonna
gonna be
subpoena
caught.
my phone records. They're gonna subpoena my records.
We're gonna lean out. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you guys for episode 8. And again, like, subscribe, comment, find Jamie and I on Instagram, and we will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good night.